In this video, I'm going to be sharing an amazing opportunity that I believe every Nigerian youth can take advantage of and work with the European Union delegation to Nigeria. It's a very, very good opportunity which I've actually had first-hand insight into the activities, because while I was in Abuja, I was actually at the first inauguration of the first cohort. I was there, I was with the people, and I have a good relationship with a lot of the people who are current members who will actually be graduating from the program in a few weeks to come. And it's a very prestigious position where you will have the opportunity of advising the European Union delegation to Nigeria on youth participation, youth activities, how they are supposed to go about, interacting with the Nigerian youth. It's a very prestigious one, and I will also be taking you through the application procedure step by step, explaining some of the things you may need to know about the application. So it's not a paid job. It's not a paid job, and it's not a full time. You are only required to have 4 meetings in a year, and you can also be invited to Abuja for events, for programs that are organized by the European Union. It's not a paid position, but you have the very great opportunity of networking with professionals both within Nigeria and outside of Nigeria. You build new connections, and a lot of the people that I know who are actually part of the first cohort have actually gone beyond the platform. The platform has actually given them another avenue to advance their career and even move to more prestigious position that is actually paying them. So it's actually a very good one if you are interested in youth participation, youth engagement, and the likes. And it's a prestigious one working for the European Union. So it's not a paid one, but whenever you are called for a physical meeting in Abuja, then you will actually, the transport fare will be covered. It's going to be airline tickets that will be gotten for you. It's not going to be by road. Whichever state you are, except you are in Abuja, that's where you can collect your boat fee. Transport is covered. If it's actually a long distance, you are expected to take flight. And whenever you are going for programs, sometimes the program may be for 4 days or 5 days. Your accommodation will be covered. You will be lodged in an hotel, and you will have the opportunity of meeting your colleagues, knowing each other and the likes. So it's a very good one. And what is actually the Youth Sounding Board? What is this position? It is actually aimed to create a space for meaningful involvement, just as I've said earlier, for meaningful involvement of young people in the EU's cooperation with Nigeria, and it will enable active engagement and exchanges between young people, decision makers, the member states of the European Union, and the European Union itself. So most of the things you will be doing, the report will also be getting to the European Union headquarters as well. So the YSB will advise the EU delegation in Nigeria on youth participation and empowerment, and on a broad range of topics such as empowerment, education, training, entrepreneurship, environment and climate change, human rights and democracy, peace and security, digitalization and technology, gender, social inclusion and health, peace and security, as well as culture, art, media, and journalism. And one beautiful thing about this is you don't even need a university degree. What you need is secondary school education, which actually is a means of proving that you've actually gone through a process that enables you to communicate well in the English language. So you need to have a very good command of the English language, because that's the language of communication. So how will you be working? You will actually be advising the European Union delegation whenever they are planning programs. You will also be influencing their activities. You'll be monitoring whatever programs that the EU is actually organizing on behalf of the youth. You will monitor it and make suggestions to improve support for the youth, and you also be informing them. So I'll put the link to this document in the description below so you can read more on it. And so this is for this purpose, the YSB members will, among others, hold 4 meetings, develop a work plan with objectives and activities, things like that. And how do you become? This is the criteria. Between the age of 18 and 30 years old is the requirement, and you have a good command of English language, be a resident in Nigeria, and then you have to have experience in youth participation and in youth employment. And this is the timeline and the likes. So now, having talked about the YSB, it's good to talk about the application procedure, taking you step by step through the application. Of course, I will not be filling the form, but I will actually discuss some cogent things that you may need to know about the application. I'll be explaining what questions is being asked of you. So the link is in the description below. So this is the application form. So this is where it starts. I like the way the application is scheduled. You can even go to other places that you've not filled before. Some applications will not allow you to see the next page until you actually do what is on the current page. So you can actually go. So the application is auto save. So whenever you fill any information, it's there. Even though you actually leave it for a long time, whenever you come back, it will time out. But whenever you refresh the page, it will be saved. And you can also save as draft as well. You can save it as draft. This is a place to save as draft. So now let's go ahead. So this is actually the eligibility criteria, as I've said earlier. So this is the general information. You put your name, your surname, your date of birth, your gender, your nationality, your email, telephone number, place of residence. This place of residence is very important because they are going to be taking 25 youths, and most of the time they always want it to be equally distributed across the states of the nation. So they want participation from different states because bring a different perspective. That is what makes the EU strong. So this is the place of residence. Put where you are residing, and then after doing that, then you can click on next, and then you'll be able to see this education and professional background. So your education, what's the highest education level you have completed, and if it's professional training, so what's your current occupation? So is it paid work or self-employed? Whichever one. If it's other, you can put it here and specify. Are you a member of a network, youth organization, or otherwise? So if you're actually a member of a network or a youth organization or otherwise, this is where you pick. So if you are not part of any, you just click on none. But if you are part of an NGO, non-governmental organization, if it's actually a trade union, if it's community-based organization, if it's faith-based organization, so probably in your church or in your mosque, you are actually in your part of a youth organization where you actually active, you carry out activities, you relate with them, then faith-based organization works. And if it's a foundation, if it's a research institution, probably in school, you are an activist in your school. You can actually put research institution here. If it's cooperative, professional and business association, whatever it is, not for profit media, whatever it is, you put it there. And then if it's another one, you can specify. And then what are your areas of expertise or interest, because they will also try and also make people who have different area of expertise to be among the 25 youths that will be selected. They won't select 5 people from climate change and then we have just 20 people, or let me say they won't select 10 people from climate change. They will want probably a few number from climate change, few number from gender equality, few number from digital innovation, few number from democracy, people who are into democracy, journalism, and the like. So they want it to be balanced. So that's why they are asking this question. So what are areas of expertise? So employment and entrepreneurship, and I'm sure you can easily find whatever it is that you belong to here. So we've still not getting to some complicated part of the application yet. So now it says please describe briefly your interest and or expertise. So describe briefly your interest or expertise, which is 50 words maximum. So your interest or expertise is where you just have to briefly mention what you are interested in, and the answer is actually just here. What you've picked here, you just need to elaborate more on it here. Now, okay, your interest is in environmental and climate change. For example, let me just pick something. Your interest is in migration, so you can put that, specify that you are interested in migration and you've actually been working in the field for so years, and you've developed some expertise, which are this, which are this, which are that, for the purpose of curbing illegal migration from Nigeria to whatever country that people illegally migrate to. So that may be your home, and your home may be gender, and you may say, okay, your interest in gender equality, where women actually find their space in the workplace, where they are not actually deprived of their benefits because they are women, where women actually participate in and you develop social communication skills, communication expertise, and the likes in this field. So this is what is required from you here to briefly describe your interest and or expertise. So you just have to elaborate more on what you've picked here. So going ahead, when you click on next, it will actually ask you for experience in youth participation and empowerment. So here is asking what is your experience in youth participation and empowerment, and also asking what is your experience in reaching out to large groups of youth, including to youth that are disadvantaged or vulnerable situation. So these questions actually seem a little bit similar, but there is actually a subtle difference between both of them. What is your experience in youth participation and empowerment? So now the first question is actually a more broader. It's actually what is your experience in youth participation and empowerment. This question is a little bit broader, but the other question, what is your experience in reaching out to large group of youth, including to youths that are in disadvantaged or vulnerable situation. The first is more broader. It's asking you for your general involvement in activities that are related to youth participation and environment, and this could actually include, designing or implementing programs. You design or implement programs that encourage youth to participate in decision-making processes. You advocate for youth rights and opportunity. You are working with youth organization. So it's just a general question of what is your experience in youth participation and empowerment. Probably you are part of developing a program, you are part of implementing a program, designing a program, you are part of a youth organization, you are part of people who mobilize youth for a particular action and the like. So this is what is actually talking about. What is your experience? Like what do you really do when it comes to youth participation? What have you done? Using your experience, using what you've done to talk about your experience. That is what this question is talking about. But the number two question, with actually what is your experience in reaching out to large group of youth, including to youth that are in disadvantaged or vulnerable situations. So this question is actually more narrowed. It's asking you how you've actually connected with large numbers of youth. This could include maybe your communication strategies, maybe you personally organize an event or an online outreach, what you've actually really done to meet with large numbers of youth. And it's also now asking if you've actually worked with youth from diverse backgrounds who may actually face challenges or disadvantage, maybe people who are maybe disabled or people who have no access to what some other youth have access to. So the major difference is that the question one is actually asking for your general experience with youth participation, and question two is actually asking how you've reached out to a large group of youth, and question one is more of program design, advocacy, youth organization work, which area you really belong in. And then the question two is about your communication, how you've communicated with them, the outreach you've actually had with them, and probably working with diverse youth populations who are actually at a disadvantaged position. So that is what this two questions is actually talking about. And going ahead into the next question, what do you want? Why do you want to join the Youth Standing Board? Why do you want to join them? You have to state why you want to join them, coming from your own area of expertise, your desire, and your passion. Expertise, passion, and desire. That is how you come in approaching this question. Why do you want to join? I have my desire is this. I have expertise. I've developed my expertise in this, and then I'm hoping to find a platform to expand my reach, to expand whatever it is that you do, and help the European Union in actually ensuring the Nigerian youth lives are better at this, at that. Nigeria have a sustainable environment and the likes, contributing to their programs. And probably many people will also talk about the richness of the connections that they are going to make and interact, the knowledge exchange and the likes. So that is why do you want to join. Your own might be different from what I've just said, but you have to show your passion, your desire, and your expertise, and how they align with the interest of the European Union and what you hope to get out of that alignment. And so how will you contribute to the work of the Youth Standing Board? This is the ninth question. How will you contribute to the work of the Youth Standing Board? You want to talk about how you will contribute to their work. Probably it's just about discussing what you are really doing. You must have said that this is what you are interested in, this is the expertise you've built over the years, and this is how you will contribute it to the work of the Youth Standing Board. It's not asking right now that how will you contribute to the work of the European Union, but of course you can extend further in talking about it. But what is the central question here is how will you contribute to the work of the Youth Standing Board? So you know that different people are coming from different background with different ideologies, with different professions, and you will be together. So how will you contribute to this general meeting? So your expertise, providing support, providing your input, bringing the perspective of the people that you represent and the likes. So this is what this question is actually talking about. And then going ahead, the question 10 is please describe how you have successfully used your communication skills in youth participation and engagement process, including the use of traditional and social media to advocate and negotiate for youth. So this is actually your asking about your communication skill. Probably your communication skill is public speaking, maybe your communication skill is graphics design, maybe your communication skill is whatever it is that you've actually used in the past to inform the youth, to to advocate and negotiate for the youth. Maybe during the COVID-19 pandemic, you are actually putting out data to encourage the youth to distance themselves from social distancing, whatever it is that you've used your communication medium to do. There are different ways to communicate. We have verbal communication, non-verbal communication, we have graphics communication, we have different type of ways to communicate, and some people have communicated using the traditional media like newspaper as well. Maybe you've actually used the newspaper in your agenda, maybe you've actually used the social media in your agenda. I think one of the people that's going to be passing out, who is in charge of their media, of their, I think, like the PRO, she actually during the pandemic, actually she had an hashtag that she actually was the first to bring about the hashtag, advocate on a particular thing, that okay, this pandemic is not, it's just beyond washing your hand. I think it's something related to that is beyond washing your hand. So she developed an hashtag, start pushing the hashtag, and the hashtag actually generated about 2 million content and the likes. So what have you really done in the aspect of communication? Probably in social media, probably in traditional media, probably in public speaking and the likes. And then we have where it's actually asking for optional information. If you have any optional information you want to add, you put it there, and then I'm sure many people may not want to, if you are disabled, you have to put disabled here, whatever it is, special need and the likes. So that's everything I want to discuss with you in this video, and I hope you've been able to learn a lot. It's actually a very, very good platform to express yourself, to impact the activity of the European Union. This is a platform that helps you align with an organization that are really, really, really doing something amazing, something very, very great, and then you become part of something very, very great. So that is what I want to discuss, and I hope you've been able to learn a lot. If you have any question, you can put it in the comment section and I will answer your question. And this is where I share opportunities about that can advance your career and the likes, and traveling abroad and the likes. Hopefully see you in subsequent videos. This is Opportunity News.